this down in my ear. And before I do anything else, let's change this to there we go. Let's tease that. It could be a little bit smaller. Just a button. There we go. Okay. What to work on? Let's see, who was runner-up? Because I can work on that. Hey, I'm doing alright. Just working on multiple things. Figured right now for the stream I can chip away at the runner-up for last month's poll. I'm just looking to see who that was because I don't know who that character was. Hey Frost. Okay, so for Fat Lovers Club it was Toriel and Jupiter, but who are the other two? Because I'm gonna use this list for that. Looks like Tristan from One Piece and Kazooie. Okay, I'll have to remember that. And on this list, Becky won, so the next one will be... looks like Minerva Mink. Alright. I'm probably not going to work on the Fat Lovers Club on stream. If I do, then that's just because I decided to. But for now, I think I'll just do Minerva Mink for the poll winners. Or the character poll. There you are. Let's put her over here. But yeah, I do plan to work on Jupiter and Toriel this week. And I only got a few more commissions to work on, so I'm slowly chipping away at those too. I was debating on working on one of them during the stream, but I'd have to look at the description more to see what was in it. So I think for now I'll just leave it. Alright, so let's find a decent pose. Oh yeah, I saw, or at least I think I saw that for the Big Ball song, but I saw an animation on it. I don't know if it's the same thing. Oh no, I'm only doing runners up because I've been so swamped with commissions that I feel it's just faster to pick the runners up from last month rather than go through the whole grabbing a bunch of pictures and doing the whole poll thing for this month. So it's only going to be for this month, just to save time. But yeah, that's the case for that. Let's see. What's a good pose? No. How about this one? Not too bad. I don't know if it can work with that skirt though, or with the dress. I'd probably have to give her a different outfit if that was the case. This one's not too bad. I'll try this one. This one up just to make sure my thing doesn't crash. Okay. Anyway, I hope everyone else is doing alright today. Yeah, I saw Pymation's animation. I like the expressions that they do. Okay. I don't think I've ever drawn Minerva, so this will be fun. That's cool. I hope you have a safe trip. Ah, you noticed the co-art. Yeah, that will be for another collection set. I just need to work on the second pick. That'll be coming for it, or coming with it. I'm writing on the roof, not so safe. It's like there's not enough room in the car because everyone's a deer. And she's like, sorry, you gotta be on top. What? As they blaze through traffic. Say, dear mom, why? You're right, like you're a fresh hunt. Minerva was the runner-up for last month's poll, because I'm doing runners-up for this month, just to save time since I'm still working on commissions. I think if I have counted correctly in my head, I have about 12 or 13 to do left, and then they're done. Assuming I've counted right. Some easier than others. Because there's about 5 that are kind of semi-easy because they're cel-shaded that I have to do. 1 that's flat, I believe. Don't know what one of them is going to be because the person hasn't decided yet. And 3 that are black and white. Oh, no. the 5 people, those are just like 5 people. Each of them could have commissioned up to 3 each. And then there was like some extra ones that I had on the side that were before commissions opened. So yes, I am quite busy, but I'm trying to balance it out with working on Patreon stuff. So once I'm done with this, or like whenever the stream is over, I'll likely go to work on one of them. and then some of them have like up to 3 characters, or have 3 characters or so. So that takes a bit of time. Luckily, the ones that have 3 characters are all cell shading, so it's not like super detailed, but detailed enough that that's still going to take a while. Okay, so she has a more rounded mouth. And it's a little bit more thicker than that. No, I'm already past the complicated part with yours. I just have to take a moment to do the rest of it, which I'll probably work on yours next, or yours after this, because I think if I have everything right in my head, I can get the rest of that part done today, and then do what we plan to do with it. And then I can move on to probably the 3 comic pages that are in black and white. That's a commission. Because those, now that I have the first 3 done, the rest is pretty easy. Because when it comes to comic pages, the only hard part for me is just figuring out how to start it. Especially when I don't really get too much of a setup when the person describes it sometimes. So it's just one of those moments. But once I get past that, the rest is kind of easy. It's just a matter of, drawing comic pages. And she has more oval shapes here. And then the others are all in color and different styles and stuff. So I have to sift through those. Oh, you can freely discuss it. Or I mean, the way we already discussed is fine. I just have to make the necessary changes to make it work. But other than that, I can pretty much get it done. Probably today. All these secrets. Just when you post future streams on YouTube, maybe put the chat on this. I'm thinking about doing that. My only problem is when people want to try to figure out what words they can say on stream. But I guess it's just more of a product of policing it. So I guess hopefully the flags trigger when needed. But yeah, I think I'll probably do that. Yeah. It might just be one of those cases where for comic pages I just might have to charge a little more for the time. Because like I try to be affordable, but at the same time it's like one of those things where it's just like I just have to make those decisions. So we'll see. Especially since I might be changing the way I do commissions after these. Because time is extremely valuable. Yeah, auctions is likely where I'm gonna have to go with it. Because especially when it comes to doing commissions for multiple sites, the only way I could do it fairly is by rotating sites. and that can be its own issues every once in a while. But other than that, auctions is the only other fair way, so it's like spread out for everyone. Whoring out my characters. Yeah, I have to whore out the girls. I mean, I do it often anyway, so. Your ears go like this. That's why Ko's fat ass is gonna be the next collections piece. I had fun with hers, with the first pick of hers. I just gotta work on the second one. Hers is gonna be fun. I like Ko. Yeah, I think auctions is just gonna be the better route, and I understand that might alienate some people that don't have a lot to spend and stuff like that. Like, I get that. It's just gonna be one of those things, that decisions I have to make. And like, if I do try normal commissions again, I would have to make it limited to only one commission per person, because that'd be the only other way to balance out the time. And I'm just having her ear like that until I need to change it for when I put her hair down. It's hard to tell if she actually has eyebrows. Let me see. Minerva. Because it's like, does she have eyebrows, or are they just rise? Okay, she does. Just making sure. Because sometimes there are furry characters that have eyebrows, and sometimes there are ones that don't. I opt for not having eyebrows if they're an animal character. Well, because it was kind of hard to tell if it was just her expression raising her the parts that should be her eyebrows, or if it was like actual eyebrows. Because sometimes that could be the case. But I wanted to make sure that that was like a thing she constantly had. I'll put in her hair after I get her body. Actually, let's try doing it this way. Because sometimes you'll have characters who don't normally have eyebrows have extra lines to kind of show their expressions. No. But yeah, like for the collection piece, I almost chose the Big Mama Hen for the pick, but I was like, I think I'll choose Ko. And maybe I'll use her next. But yeah, Ko's pick will either be out tonight or tomorrow. And it'll only be available for about a week. And then I'll also be working on iHat tonight as well, after I'm done with at least 2 commissions. without the hair. Do I have a skunk character? I feel like I don't, but I might. If I don't, then I should make one. That reminds me, I need to change Ray's design. I'm not really gelling with it now. I think I want to make her look more shark-like. I don't know, give her the anthro shark dreads. This part was going to be her dress anyway. Just give this character a noodle body and short legs. New Minkosi. I know, like there's always characters designs. I'm like, oh, that'd be a cool OC thing. Because I did the same for Banana and Peach. They're roughly based off of Toon designs. Ironically, from Animaniacs. Hey, Thunder Kid. Okay, I think I can put her hair now, or at least some of it. Doing alright, just working on this for the stream, and then once I get off, I'm gonna be working on commissions. Almost done with them. Some of them I've finished and I just haven't posted because I'm either waiting to get the go-ahead from the people that commissioned it, or commissioned them, or waiting for all of them to be done so I can just post them all together. Yeah, Minerva's interesting because her head goes further up here for where her ears are, whereas my version has them lowered. So either this is gonna look alright, or I might have to make adjustments. Yeah, I think I'll make adjustments since... Oops, cancel. Actually, it could be just the way I was doing it. Okay, why the hell is... Okay, I'm not even gonna question it. I don't know why they flagged 69 now. I almost was gonna put in time to do something for April Fool's, but I was like, maybe I'll just save it for next year. It was mostly just because I wanted to put the time into working on commissions. Oh, the Mousley thing is funny. I just love it. I know, right? It's like, who can go through a stream without getting flagged? I mean, that's already happened, but still. It's like, man. Okay, so... just gonna curve with... I feel like I've drawn Minerva, but maybe I haven't. It's like, am I crazy? I mean, yes I am, but... Put her hair a little higher up. Oh yes, I forgot. I can erase things. So that means I should be able to freely use my lines. Here's a little bit more out. We'll do the ends a little later. There we go. Oh yeah, I should probably save. That would be smart. I haven't done speed paint videos in a while though. Once I get a new computer, I'll start doing those again. Because that way I can put the rendering videos on my old computer. And then I think with my old computer, once I make sure everything is on the new one, I'm gonna factory reset my old one so that way it can be a version, and then just make it only for rendering stuff, like don't even connect it to the internet. See, that one got flagged. I mean, that one's a little bit more obvious, but still funny. She would look like Bianca, huh? I need to draw Bianca too. She's been on my to-do list for quite some time. I think once I do another character art set, I'll go down the to-do list. There's like a number of characters on that. Ears need to be bigger. Yeah, because let me get a red pen. Because the way they drew Minerva on this, her head is going like here. In order to well, it's a little bit more like this. It's more like that, sort of, to accommodate for where her ears are. So I think that's the big difference. because if we did her head just like a normal circle, her ears would be a little bit off. No, not Minerva's ears. Her brain. Ah, I see. Yes, her brain needs to be bigger. I mean, you can always make them bigger. I'm just kind of setting up the figure first. But yeah, I can make her boobs bigger, I don't care. Assuming you're even talking about her boobs. A lot of the Animaniacs characters were really fun. I need to draw Slappy. Slappy's my favorite. Just the angy old grandma. That's probably not even accurate that she's a grandma, but she's definitely an old lady. Becky's role model? Probably. Future rodent pole. Can do that. Yeah, if I do a mouse pole and put on, and I will count Mousley as a viable pick. At this point, they should just add mouse ears and tail to Ashley as a cosmetic for Resident Evil 4 Remake, since Leon has fox ears as a cosmetic. I don't know if he has a tail, if he gets a tail or not, but he has that. So just give her a mouse outfit. Like, why not? Just do it at this point. Just give her some mouse ears and like a tail that flops around when she's running around. There you go. Fat Ashley mod. Well, that's a mod. I mean, I want something from the official from Capcom, because I know at Capcom you can put fox ears on him, and that's like the official stuff. Because obviously, if you're a mod, then if you can mod stuff, you're just gonna put in whatever you want. And at that point, you're not even gonna wait for the company. I just want the company to acknowledge it. Oh, the official Twitter acknowledged it? Oh, hopefully that goes somewhere. I hope it does. Like when they like add in DLC or whatever in for it, I hope they put in the mouse costume or a mouse costume. That would just solidify it at that point. Because it's one thing when fans make mods and all that, like that's one thing, but when the people who make it put it in, then it feels more official. And I know she has 3 toes because I've seen her show them off. I need to do a feet pick set. I haven't done that. That'll be interesting, showing off characters' feet. The only question is, would I go for the whole realistic wrinkles thing, or just like how they're designed and just do stuff like, I don't know, pouring honey on them or something. I don't know. I'm just thinking. What prompted the meme? From what I've heard, it had to do with her old model from the old PS2 GameCube days, and I guess people just kind of pointed out that she had big ears or something, and then it went from there. So I don't know if a lot of that artwork is old and is just getting reposted, or if it's actually new and people are just going with it. Do I have water? No, I do not, so if I have to, I will go get water later. Okay, so we need to be about here. Probably be a little bit more back. Honey feet combo. It's a question of her ages. What if you booted up Resident Evil 4 Remake and Ashley was just a tiny mouse? What would you do? Like if Ashley was a tiny mouse, and I think it would be cool because you could always make that like a mechanic where Mouse Ashley has to go through and help Leon like get through certain puzzles and stuff that only she can fit through and help him through, and she just becomes more reliable over time. So like if anything were to happen to Mouse Ashley, it would just be fucking tragic and sad. And it'd be even cuter if she had like the little sweater and outfit and all that. And like at that point you'd have to decide on whether or not, well no, because you can always say that Leon doesn't understand her, but and like to her he only hears squeaks and stuff like that, but she can always talk and monologue to herself. And so when she's like being chased by like birds or something, you'll hear her go like help Leon and all that like she normally does, but it's only like voices that the audience or the player can hear, but not Leon. So it'd be like little cute moments. Let's make these a little bit more. But there are cute ways to make it work. Just have a little mouse. You want to see the way I would draw her? We'll see. Let me get through all the other stuff that I have to do first. I just have to decide on how I would draw her based on the interpretations that I've seen. I'd probably just make her small. Small mouse girl. Give her some cheese. Then it'd basically just be a matter of, do I give her ballistics or not? There we go. Alright, can get rid of all this. Okay, let me swap. Come on, there we go. Ah, the cup's still there. Good, there we go. There we go. Trying so hard to not. This man trying so hard not to do whatever I want. But usually I try to go for what works the best for whatever I'm aiming at. Okay, I'll do her dress after I do the rest of her. I mean, for the most part, yeah. It's kind of how it is. Most of the time I'm just drawing what I want to see, or what I am in the mood to draw. Find it funny that this looks nothing like the reference that I'm looking at. Because I have Minerva on the stream screen, but I have another screen where I'm looking at reference to see of how I wanted to draw it, and it looks nothing like the way I was thinking. Because I just ended up diverging. Let's see. And luckily her colors are stupid easy. I'll be honest, like, of all the things I dread when it comes to drawing is just the coloring part, because I'm like, no, I gotta do all this. And I guess to a degree shading, but I think coloring is the worst part. But that's okay. Does she simp? Nope, she does not simp, but she does go out of her way to capture whatever male she's interested in. If she saw dragon fruit, she would do whatever she could to catch him. And if she found out that he could take it because he's a god or a demigod, that'd probably be her best catch. No, it's not any guy. She goes for the ones she thinks are like best for breeding. That's why every time it's like mating time, she goes for the ones who can outrun her the longest. Because to her, that's like, oh, like those are good genes. Where's Jolly? Jolly already has 7 girlfriends. I think he's good. And Jolly already has himself a short stack. Yeah, I do not like the way I'm doing this. I think I'm focusing too much on trying to make the fingers correct. Restructure this. Hands. Why? Just need to sit down and just draw nothing but hands for like a day just to get it burned into my mind. Yeah, because these look like shit. Let's just chop the whole thing off and redo it. We're talking about Ko, and then I started talking about Minerva's hand. There we go. That's better. Hands, how do they work? Okay, now for her hair. I can erase the stuff we don't need. I still like the episode where Minerva dates the werewolf guy. She's all like, Wilfred, when's the next full moon? Oh, I forgot I still have Discord open. Let me close that. That way, lessen the chance of my computer crashing for dumb reasons. Lately it's been better behaving, but still need to get a new one. And I'll still use this one, of course. Like, it's not like I'm gonna throw it out or anything. Actually, let's redo that. I want it to be a little bit more flowy. There we go, that's better. Analyze and optimize the drives. Well, it's not the drives, it's just getting on in years. I've almost had it for like 7 years now. That, and I've noticed certain parts of it are not working as they should. So I don't know if something happened when it got sent to be repaired at one point, or when I was changing the battery. I don't know if something happened. Who is calling me? Go away. Go away, California. I don't know who's calling me. It's just a random number, but it says it's from California, so go away, California. He says as he's in California itself. It's the state calling me. Going like, you, what are you doing? I'm drawing Minerva, go away. It's Warner Brothers calling me, going like, hey, you drawing Minerva Mink? Like, yeah, you guys should be too. Well, it's not the speed. The speed is fine for the computer. It's just having technical problems with, like, memory and stuff like that. And, like, just random crashes. So, I think it's just getting on in years. And plus, since some of its functions are not working for unknown reasons, I think it's just one of those things where I just gotta either get those things fixed or just replace it. Which, honestly, I think it's just better that I replace it. Because I've had it for 7 years. Or almost 7. I think it'll be 7 years in June. Save my work. Yeah. It's saved. Yeah, I'm trying to save after like every little fucking step that I do now. Because I was not happy last week. I was in very, very, very Gur mode. Which is appropriate that I have Becky. Becky as my avatar. But yeah, I was just not in the mood. Let's flow out her hair just a little bit more. I think I still have Minerva Mink's character sheet somewhere. I'll have to go looking for it. Did I say the Doom song? That'd have been funny. I hope, since they're not going to make another season of Animaniacs, I hope Pinky and the Brain get another spin-off. Because their segments always had like an ongoing thing going, or ongoing story. Okay. Let's see how this looks. Yeah, that's fine. I swear, I feel like I've drawn Minerva before. Let me see. Just like, maybe it's just the hair that's reminding me of it. Or reminding me of something similar. Let me see. No? No, nothing coming up, so I guess I didn't. Might be just the hair. Maybe there's a character that I drew with similar hairstyle, and that's what's clicking. There we go. For her big tail. Look at that tail from another angle. Okay. Just big poof. Oh yeah, the Jessica Rabbit outfit. The WB logo on her ass. I think they've shown that prior to Space Jam. Because I remember Daffy doing something similar and he like kisses his ass after showing it. That might have been Space Jam actually, but I remember them doing that elsewhere. That was Space Jam, yeah. So it was probably another scenario. Because Daffy did it, and then I know another character had done it. Although I'm not sure if it was on their ass or on their feet. It's been a long ass time since I watched those old cartoons. Okay, so her tail is big fluff. Well, no, like it's just a running joke where they have the logos on their butt, but it's only going to show up for that joke. It's not like a thing you see all the time on all the characters. So yeah. And in case that was part of the joke, yeah, gotta take another look at her ass just to be sure. Say, is she WB? Yep, there it is. Reminds me of the joke of Sally Acorn having a particular birthmark on her body. And apparently SBO knows where it is. And she's like, all right, nope, we don't need to elaborate on that. I forget the context of why he brought it up, because it was something, I think it had to do with like the whole Ninja Clan stuff, and I think it was like Sally asking like, what information has he not given to the other clans or whatever, and he mentions her birthmark, and so then she's just like, all right, we can listen to him. Oh yeah, there's been like 2 robotic versions of Sally. The first one was a robot duplicate trying to take her identity, and then the other one was when Sally got roboticized during the Genesis Wave arc. The Robot Sally one was funny, though, because Tails was the only one who noticed that it wasn't her. And so, he was, like, being super suspicious and stuff like that, and he proved that it wasn't her. And so they had... And because the idea was that Robotnik was going to capture the real Sally and then turn her or roboticize her. But then, because of the way he made the Robot Sally, he got confused and tried to roboticize her, and she ended up wrecking his lab. Let's bring it out just a little bit more. But yeah, Mecha Sally was interesting. And the idea behind Mecha Sally was that they were basically doing Metal Madness part 2, or like a second version of Metal Madness. But they used Sally instead of Sonic this time around, or that time around. Rusty Rose is interesting because Rusty Rose is or at least she looks like a cyborg rather than a robot. I assume she's a cyborg. That's what it looks like to me. I think she is. If I remember correctly, I think she's supposed to be a cyborg. I'm curious on where that show is going, and it sucks that they stopped it halfway. That's what I hate about Netflix's air quotes seasons, is that they're only like a small handful of episodes, and then they chop it up into like a later time. It's like, guys, all you're doing is making it worse. Because people don't like to... Because, like, if you already have all the episodes, then just put them out. Don't chop them up. I played a little bit of the game. I haven't finished it. I want to finish it later. But, I heard there's a MILF character in there now. Or a new MILF character. So I was like, oh, cool. And, like, add her to the pile. It's like, put her on the list. I don't know if she has a name or not, but when I get to her in the game, it'll be fun. MILF character. I need her name. I have no idea if she has a name. I'll have to look for it or play the game and find out. But yeah, that was just funny. It's like the murder of Sonic the Hedgehog. I was like, wait, what? And granted, I knew it was April Fool's, but the fact that they actually put out a full game just made it better. And I hope it allows them to do more with their characters, especially the comic book ones. So that way, even if they're not in like a giant 3D game, they can at least still have some more presence to the gaming fans. For those who don't read the comics, so that way they're more likely to be introduced to those characters. So, like, let's just say the characters from the IDW comic need more spotlight. Just put out a visual novel game. Granted, I don't know how much work needs to go into those, depending on how you go about it. Because, you know, action scenes and stuff like that. But I think it'd be a good idea to help show off characters that people may not be aware of. Because like you can have a whole fan base based for the whole comics and all that, but there's always a chunk of people who don't know who these characters are. Yeah, let's slow this down a little bit more. Like Surge, for example. Referred to as Conductor's wife. Well, that's okay. Yeah, thick MILF. But that's fine, you know. Maybe she'll get a name in the future, but for now, she's a part of the fan base now. The fan base are like, oh yes. Just they don't even have to name her. They could always just have someone refer to her as ma'am or honey, like if it was from her husband. or hun, or sweetheart, you know, just the typical relationship names, or nicknames. But yeah, leave her nameless until just leave her nameless until necessary. She's thicker than vanilla. That's fine. She, for all we know, she's had many kids. Who knows? She got that mom bod. Vanilla's still pretty fresh, you know. She's only been a mom for a few years. It'll be a bit before Vanilla gets that mom bod. Yeah, there's just a ton of characters from Sonic's lore that people are just unaware of. And that's both to the fault of many unfortunate events throughout the company's history with the character. But yeah, like, I feel a visual novel is a good way to introduce people to more characters, especially if they don't dive into the comics. Then you have a pretty decent chance of them getting into the visual novels because it's another game type of gateway. Let's lower this. Because even though there are ways to read the comics, whether you buy them or get them elsewhere, they're just they're less likely for gaming only fans to dive into it. So I think a visual novel will be a good method in the future. So yeah, hopefully they go about that route. And they can still just make the visual novels like part of the game lore, but still use characters from the comics. Because I mean, the characters from the comics from the IDW comics are supposed to be canon to the game universe at this point, especially since Sonic Frontiers mentions two of them. Well, no, it mentions Tangle, and then it mentions Styx, who is from the Boom universe, but she is now going to be brought into the comic and gaming universe, so that'll be interesting. I was trying to figure out who the girl with the sniper was. Yeah, Whisper. Then I typed in sniper and found a Sonic Kangaroo. Oh yeah, no, you're thinking of Fang the Sniper or Knack the Weasel, because he goes by double names. And he's from Sonic Triple Trouble as well as Sonic the Fighters, because he is playable in that. And then he shows up as a Easter egg in Sonic Mania as a semi-boss. But yeah, Knack the Weasel was awesome. Sorry, I did not mean to bang the mic. But yeah, like there's like, because when I was watching people play Sonic Mania, they came across Fang the Sniper, Bean the Dynamite, and Bark the Polar Bear, and a lot of people were like, "Who are they?"
And I was like, God damn it. And granted, like, I don't expect everybody to know everything, but it was just one of those things where it's like, fuck, it hurts knowing that who they are and everyone else doesn't. I mean, that goes with like any type of fan base. Like, you know, when you're a fan of something and people don't know, it's just like you just sit there going like, how do you not know? Oh no, Whisper is a wolf, Fang is a weasel. And Fang is also male. There is, well, if we're going off of the comics, Fang also has a sister named Nick, because in the West his name was Knack the Weasel, so he has a sister named Nick. Nick Knack, get it? And so, if you might have seen artwork of his sister as well. Yeah, Whisper is a wolf, because she's based off of Metal Gear. Because she's Sniper Wolf. And I think her outfit is based off of the Major from Ghost in the Shell. I think. Her outfit just reminds me of it, and that may not be the case. Since we're talking about Sonic, thoughts on Infinite? Infinite... I feel Infinite was just very mishandled. Because they made his backstory very inconsistent with the game itself. Because they tried to make it seem like he had ties to Shadow, but then Shadow barely interacts with him at all in the main game. And it wasn't until the DLC that they tried to tie in something with Shadow, but even then it just didn't make sense with the rest of the game. Because there's even a part in the game where you see like a giant facility with a bunch of experimental tubes, and they make the comment of, oh, this must have been where Robotnik made Infinite, which would indicate that there were other versions of Infinite, whereas in later content they try to make it seem like he was just a volunteer who was given the gem to make himself more powerful or whatever, and then just puts on a mask. And then if you go off of the comic lore, that's like a whole other thing going on, because they show Infinite's face when he didn't get enhanced. So there's all of that. And then I think during that time, that was also when Whisper was helping with her group during the Forces arc, because they try to tie that in with Forces. But yeah, like, I feel Infinite was just very mishandled. And I think he has the ability to come back as a character, to use and all that, but they have to really hammer down what they're doing with him, because what they did for the game just didn't make sense with all the other lore that they were trying to push on him. And it just, because like, even when Shadow shows up in the game, in the main game, he doesn't make like any real reference to Infinite. And then it just makes you wonder, okay, when Robotnik was taking over the goddamn world, what the hell was Shadow doing this entire fucking time? Like, Shadow is more than capable of pretty much doing most of what Sonic does, so what the fuck was he doing? And then Sonic being captured didn't even make sense either, because they say Sonic is captured and tortured, but then when you see him getting rescued, he's just chilling, like nothing's happening. So it seems like there were two groups of people wanting to make the game, and they were not communicating at all with each other. We need a dank stream of me going through each character. Do you know how many fucking characters there are? If we're just talking about the game only characters, maybe. but if we're going through like every character, that is way too many. There are like over, I know there's over 300 if we're even if we count the ones that He Who Should Not Be Named ended up taking. So if we're still going off of like their use in the series, that is a shit ton of characters. Sonic Smasher Pass. Oh god. There are so many. Oh my god. And then we gotta go off of, okay, if like, you gotta remember, if we're going off every Sonic character, that includes the games, the comics, the cartoon, the mangas, because there were there was another version of Sonic from the Fleetway version. Then we got the Boom universe, I guess Prime universe now, because those are all separate characters too. Good lord, trying to think. I guess now we got the visual novel now, because those are all characters too. I already said the games, but I guess visual novel would count as that too. But no, because visual novel would be its own thing. I think that's about it. So that's like at least 6 different things to go through. Not as much as a full Pokedex. Who knows? That might be more than a Pokedex, honestly. I'm just gonna randomly type in how many Sonic characters are there just out of sheer curiosity. Oh, this is way too low. Okay, yeah, they're only going off of the core from the games and shit, so with the games it's like, what, 100 or so? Depending on where they're going about this. But there's way more than this. Because then we got, yeah, because like there's like the cartoons and shit, so there are a lot. So yeah, maybe not as much as a Pokedex, maybe. If I'd have to actually sit down and count every character. But still quite a bit. And I think we're good. Let me just tighten up some spots. I feel like she should have a collar. Fuck it. Just gonna give her like a red collar. There we go. And the last thing I need to look up for her. And looking at her official art, looks like she only is shown with the black, so I'm going to make them like a deep or a dark brown. It's usually the case that I go about it. Jesus. That is some reference for her. I love how the references of characters were just like with the intention of them not being used in the show. So they always just have them in like risque poses. Just kind of like, oh, we didn't plan on this, and I was like, sure you didn't. Just saving these. There we go. We still need a Viro character. Smasher, I know, right? I need to go through every character I have, even the adopted ones that don't have that don't have artwork done by me yet, and just do a smasher pass just for the fun of it. Just a matter of like having to make the head. Well, no, because I can just do that on the side. So yeah, I'll have to use that website that makes a tier list thing, and then see where I go about it from there. Okay, so what are your colors? Is this pure white or? Yeah, so let's go with this and just tone it down from the blue. So about here. Tomorrow I will not be doing a stream, but I will do another on Thursday because I have stuff I have to do tomorrow. Majority of her is white, so let's do this. Well, no, that's not true. I think the majority of her is yellow. Or blonde, whatever color this is supposed to be. So let's do it this way. That way it saves me time from having to do her hair. Just coloring her white is pretty easy. Yeah, that was the better choice. Any touch-ups? I think it'd be funny to do like a smasher pass of my characters and then see what everyone else's thoughts are. To like see like the majority of pass or smash for whatever character. So that'll be fun. Could try doing that too. Be like, alright everybody, Jupiter, smash or pass. And just see what comments I get. Most sincere above. I'm sure there's some characters lower than that. If I went through every character I ever made, good lord, that'd be quite an amount of time. I need to scan in the characters that I haven't posted or have on my drive. I need to scan them in because there's a lot more characters. From my old folders and stuff like that. Yeah, I'm sure there's gonna be a few that you'd be like, nope. But everyone has their tastes. Just a matter of seeing where that rabbit hole lies. It's like, alright, here's this teddy bear that has a fucking shadow that comes out of it and takes children's souls, smash or pass. And it's like, wait, what? And then some characters I think I need to redesign, because either they're way too fucking old and I need to just update them, or something just doesn't click anymore and they need to rework them. You'd rather smash the teddy? God. Well, luckily I do have stuffed animal characters. Because two of them are actual stuffed animals, and the others two are two criminals who got their souls put into stuffed bodies by a toy god. There we go. Alright, this is looking nice. Need you. And I think I can just do my colors for this. Nah, it's gonna go by hers. But definitely doing that for her eyes. There we go. Good. Save. I'll put this over here. Luckily, a good chunk of her is white or light colors, so shading doesn't take long on her. Or at least the highlight parts of her. do. God damn it. Yes, I am listening. I don't know why it keeps doing that. I need to find the option and see if there's a way to keep that going. Oh, really? I'll have to look that up then. That's weird. Like, first I'll look through the settings to see if it's even a thing you can turn off, and if not, I'll look that up. But that's weird that that would require a extension to turn that off. That should just be an option.
Welcome back. Okay. Oh yeah, Bluey's really good. There's quite a number of there's quite a bit of sass from some of the characters. Yeah, it occasionally goes into some pretty deep and pretty dark moments, but overall it's really good. I know, right? Apricot would love it. I need to catch up on Owl House. On Owl House. It's a really good series. I just haven't kept up with it.
Because I know it starts off all goofy and stuff like that, and then it slowly gets into the dark stuff. Similar to most modern cartoons nowadays. I mean, older ones have done it too, but I think it's following like a very unique formula that seems to work nowadays. It's like I was watching it I watched the first season and then I just fell off because it took a while for the second one to show up, at least in my case, and then I just didn't catch up with it. But it'll be something to binge watch. I tend to do that. Like, when I got into Hunter x Hunter, I watched the entirety of that in like 3 days. And I know there's still more in the manga. That 50 years old should be with a asterisk because he was in cryostasis or whatever the hell it was for 50 years, and then they released him. So people just assume for some reason that he's immortal for that little context, which doesn't make sense anyway. But he's only technically 50 years old because he was put in stasis. So it's unknown if he actually ages or not. But people just assume that he's immortal because of this. Like, Shadow has quite a bit of inconsistencies. Because in Sonic Adventure 2, when he dies, he's supposed to he loses one of his cufflinks, and Sonic hands it to Rouge. And if you look at that game, the cufflink is just a regular strap. It's not like a ring or anything. But in Sonic X was when this was introduced, and in Sonic X they made it so that when he takes off the cufflinks, it's supposed to boost his power, because I guess him wearing them like suppresses how powerful he's supposed to be, which again doesn't make any sense because none of this was really demonstrated in the games that he was from. But yeah, that's when that little tidbit was added in. And then the character was supposed to die, but then because he was so popular, they brought him back in Sonic Heroes, where they brought up the whole is he a clone or is he a robot thing. And then it wasn't until the actual Shadow the Hedgehog game where Robotnik clarifies, no, he's not a clone or a robot. He found him and healed him and all that. Because for whatever fucking reason, they decided to just toss that little bit of information at the very end of the game. And it's not even in like a cutscene or anything. It's like during the final boss battle where all of the characters are talking to you as you're fighting the final boss. And Robotnik just tosses that out. Just randomly. And they don't even like go into it or anything. It's just, oh yeah, here's this information that you've been wondering. Done. But yeah, because Shadow is over 50, people assume that he can live forever. So That's the only reason why that's a thing. Because there's like nothing to even go into it. They just assume that that's the case. And like they kind of tried to retcon Maria on why Shadow was being created, because when they came out with Shadow the Hedgehog, they had to like justify the whole Black Doom thing, and because they were trying to tie in Shadow with Black Doom by saying like, oh, Shadow is like genetically connected to Black Doom because of he was genetic DNA used to help create Shadow as a being and all that, or whatever the case was. And so the reasoning behind why Dr. Gerald Robotnik took the deal to use his DNA was so he could help cure Maria from a disease that she had, apparently. It was never mentioned in Sonic Adventure 2, but this is the first time it's mentioned at all. And they tie that into why Shadow was made, because if Shadow could be created, they could use that to help heal her. But she ends up getting shot, so there's that. And I can't remember how old she was supposed to be, because they made it seem like she was younger in later iterations, but in Sonic Adventure 2, she seemed a little bit older. Not by much, but just like enough where she sounded more mature. But yeah. So there you go. I just find it funny that they give Shadow like all these extra abilities, and it's like, guys, isn't he only supposed to be able to do this if he has a Chaos Emerald? That's like literally the point. But then there's like, no, he can just shoot energy because reasons. Because he has Chaos Energy. I was like, okay, sure. Why not? I've seen crazier. Because that was literally the whole point. But nowadays they just make it so that he can like teleport and all that at will. Anyway, yeah, sorry that stemmed from just Shadow is 50 years old, what? And then here I go on like a 10-minute rant. I just kind of laughed that they also like go like, oh, Shadow's as fast as Sonic. I'm like, I mean, he's wearing jet boots. I don't know if they're like cybernetically connected to him or not, but he has jet boots on, so yeah, I guess he's as fast as Sonic with the jet boots. I think it's weird that they make him Sonic's rival where they're not really rivals. Because they don't really... It was like one time, and then the rest was just like either a misunderstanding or they're just put against each other for reasons that don't even make sense. But for some reason he's supposed to be Sonic's rival. And I'm like, why? Because he's another hedgehog? Is that the reason why we're doing that? I would say Knuckles is more of his rival than Shadow. And like they're friends and all. It's not like they have to hate each other or anything like that. It's just they have like a more competitive type of relationship. Whereas with Shadow, it's just more like every time there's a misunderstanding or something that's going against whatever Shadow and his group are doing, then that's supposed to be the rivalry. It just doesn't quite make sense. Hell, Surge makes way more sense as an actual rival. Because she actively wants to kill him. But then again, that's probably not the same thing as it being an actual rivalry, but she's definitely his counterpart in terms of that situation. And then you have Metal Sonic, who's basically evil Sonic. Well, that's not necessarily true. Just a dark Sonic, I guess, would be the best way to put it. Or a Sonic with no free will. Well, that's not true, because sometimes he does do things he's not supposed to do. A Sonic that follows orders, I guess, would be the case. I don't know. But yeah, I don't think Shadow counts as an actual rival. I would say if Sonic and Shadow were more competitive against each other and like actively did this on the daily, or not daily, but just more than a specific story scenario, then yes, I would consider them a rival. Okay, I did all that. We'll save it once I change it. He says as the computer turns off, preventing him from doing the thing he was going to do. And save. Okay, almost done. Getting closer. I just hope when they do the DLC for Tails, Amy, and Knuckles for Frontiers that they go deeper into the situation in cyberspace, because they all kept mentioning that they saw other versions of themselves kind of criticizing who they are as a person. And I'm definitely interested in Tails' situation, because he's been the most inconsistent of the group. Which I'm glad they point out. So, I'm glad Frontiers is like a stepping stone to reworking Sonic the Hedgehog. Because unfortunately, the way he's been handled by the company was more like, because he's a popular character, they were just using him to kind of milk the franchise and not put too much effort into it, because they're kind of just like whatever. But I'm glad that the people working on Frontiers were really being serious about it, and it's like, we're fully aware of how our fan base sees the series, so we're going to try as hard as we can. And it worked out. Obviously, there's some bugs here and there, but, overall, I think they did a fantastic job. And some of the stuff that they got critiqued over, they are going to attempt to fix or improve as much as they can. Which was already the case with the Elder Coco. They already improved that situation. I need to practice more. I need to improve a few things here and there. I want to see if there's any other shortcuts I can do. Or any changes to this that I can pull off. I think I need to be more open with using the backlight or the reflective light. And a real little reserve on that. Okay. Creepy dead-eye. Yes, this is when she's lost the soul. She's just coming at you like a doll. Oh no, yeah, there is color. Because a lot of cartoon characters have just the black eyes. In the old Sonic or Archie Sonic comics, he had that, but then later on, they would occasionally portray it as just being a very deep brown. So that's what I opted for when it comes to characters that have eyes like that. So that way it's not just a solid black. Granted, it could be a deep gray, I guess, but I think the brown has a little bit more color to it. Yeah, once I add the highlights and all that to her. Make her look a little bit more lively. I need to dive into a new playlist at some point because it feels like we're listening to the same thing over and over. But I know the person has like several different songs, so I don't know why the big playlists always have repetitive songs in it. Might just be I'll just have to play them individually. Get some variety. Okay. Alright, pretty much on the last step, and then I just gotta give her some random background. Yeah, I try to do that less with the whole abs thing ever since that one Blake pick. So I try not to overdo that. In her case, I don't see her as having hard abs necessarily, but still, you know, hourglass shaped and all that. The one where she's in the dress that I did as a painting. So I try to avoid doing that again. Unless the character actively has it. But then again, it could just be the case of, you know, I kept drawing characters in like skin-tight clothing, such as Skylar. So just need to lessen that. It wasn't controversial, it was just something everyone kept pointing out. So I try to loosen that up with future stuff.
Like, hold on, I'll show you. Let me go grab it. Where did I put it? So it's just this, like, just a little bit too much ab, I guess. So, just one of those things I need to think about just to make sure it's not too prominent on her. God, this is old now. But yeah, just a thing I'm trying to be weird, keep in mind. Okay, let's get back some of this real quick. I think it was just how revealing it was in the outfit, because it was super tight on her. I don't know. But I understood the point. Was just like, okay, maybe they're a little bit too tight on her or too revealing. So just like tone it down so it's not like so skin tight on characters. That's pretty much it, really. But yeah, like, it wasn't awful, but it's just one of those, like, okay, don't show too much ab on them. Because then I just end up with, like, you know, superhero costume type of outfits, or, like, you know, Skylar constantly showing muscle through his clothing. To the point where it's like, okay, is it just skin tight on him? So, you know, just loosen up the clothing. That's basically the idea. Well, no. They were just taking notice on how defined the abs were, and so the way I took it, at least from when I was looking at the comments at the time, I took it as loosen up the clothing more, so that way you're not, like, the outfits aren't so skin tight, because that was like the case with Skylar, how most of his clothing you could just pretty much see all of his abs all the time, or his muscles all the time. So it's just, you know, loosen it up, you know, don't make it as prominent. But for, like, you know, characters that need to show it off, I'll still show it off. But just to, you know, not make it as tight on them. Okay, let's do this song. Okay, I'm gonna click this and let's see what we get any different music. No, see, it just sounds like I keep hearing the same shit over and over. It's weird. Let's try this one. Yeah, it depends on the material and all that. So yeah, it's just one of those things where I need to pay attention to how clothing should function more. 45. Wrong button. Force it to be lit 2. Nah, I'm gonna go with 4 and then we'll fix it. I gotta fix it. Fix that too. And we're pretty much done with Minerva. So let me just give her some kind of background. Try to give her some kind of glamour situation. Let's see, do we got anything in here? Let's do these two.
this as a base. Might be too light for what I need it for. Yeah, it's too light. Use something else. Actually, nah. Don't have to do the cloth. Let's do this. No, it's not too bad. Let's see how this looks. That looks fine. See how this looks, and then I'll pretty much do the last part. I think it looks better this way.
Oh no, I'm just focused. Sorry. Or did I mute? No? I should be good. Oh, the mouth was moving. It's probably getting my window banging or something. I don't know. Or it can hear something else. I don't know. Becky does what she wants. Yeah, I can see her bouncing every once in a while. So maybe adjust. Oh, you know what? It could be. Hold on. No? Yeah, let me just bump up the mic a bit. Okay, that should be better. Put this down here. Good. Alright. Minerva is done. This was nice. I enjoyed this. But yeah, I'll post this soon. And you know, it'll have like its small variants on Patreon and Subscribestar like it usually does. Yeah, it's probably just my mic picking up something that's making her talk. I don't know if there's anything I can really do about that. Maybe tweak my mic settings, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, it's probably just picking up something next to me. But yeah, thank you everybody for coming. I will not be streaming tomorrow, but I will stream on Thursday. But yeah, thank you for coming. I will post her soon. And it's called duct tape for a reason. But yeah, I will see you guys again on Thursday, and I'll still work on other things like commissions and other content that I need to put out. So yeah, I will talk to you guys later. Thank you again for coming. Bye bye.